Welcome to the Gaming Masters podcast. Now, this podcast may be a little bit different in comparison to other podcasts. It's our first ever episode, and we're just going to have one person on the panel. That will be me, Eddie, and hopefully we're going to be doing this once a week. Hopefully we'll have more of the team on future podcast episodes in the future. This is just a trial run at the moment. And I just wanted to see what kind of happens. So I'm going to be talking about the latest in gaming and technology news. Now, it's going to cover the past week or so. It's going to cover most recent news. Now, I'm going to start off with the key stuff that a lot of people have been paying attention on. So I'm going to be getting started with EA. Now, Electronic Arts are a very well-known publisher, of course. I mean, they've got a lot of amazing games coming out this year, stuff like Mirror's Edge, Catalyst, etc. The new Battlefield, Mass Effect, Andromeda might be coming out this year, we're not 100% sure. However, last week, towards the beginning of last week, we were given a confirmation that Titanfall 2 is on the way. Now, Titanfall 2, we knew there were going to be a few teasers that it was going to be coming out because developers had given a slight hint that a new Titanfall game was coming out, and it was pretty obvious that they wanted to work the franchise and make the franchise into more than one game instead than just having just Titanfall 1, and then because that didn't do particularly well originally, it was they might have left it kind of thing. They aren't doing that. They are going to be continuing by making another game. Titanfall 2 has had a teaser trailer dropped last week. The teaser trailer is about 11-15 seconds or so, and at the end you see one of the Titans slamming down a sword. So people are contemplating to see whether or not they have melee weapons, which will definitely be interesting. All we do know about the game is it's called Titanfall 2, it's made by Respawn Entertainment, and we'll have a full reveal on June the 12th. It will be out on Xbox One, PS4 and PC. No surprise there, after the fall behind from the original Titanfall game just being on Xbox and PC. Now we have a look at Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Mirror's Edge Catalyst had a little bit of information revealed last week as well. Now, Mirror's Edge Catalyst will be having a beta. Now, we did already know that there would be a closed beta, and the date of the beta has now been revealed to be, I believe, I'm just checking my sources, the 28th of April. It's towards the end of the month, and you have to have an invite. Now, the invite system, because it's a closed beta, is fairly... you're gonna be lucky if you get in, because it's a closed beta. They're just making sure that everything's working properly. I'm just correcting myself with a previous point. Beta starts 22nd of April, ends on the 26th, which will definitely be good fun. And people that aren't a front runner, don't know what the front runner program is, I believe it's somebody that gets the code early, will get their code on April the 22nd. All other users who will be accepted into the beta will be on the 23rd of April. So that's not particularly far away. It's just under a week, roughly. In fact, no, it's this week. I'm correcting myself again. So yeah, that's the kind of EA news. We've had a few rumors that the new Battlefield might be revealed towards the end of last week. At the time of recording this video, which is Monday the 18th, there was a teaser going around on Thursday of the DICE developers saying there was something amazing coming. So a lot of the community believe there will be a new Battlefield game unveiled on Friday, because that's when they said there was going to be a huge announcement that you couldn't miss. It turned out it was 4 times XP, so a lot of players were disappointed. They built up a lot of hype. They never actually specified what the announcement was for. However, people were expecting it to be a new Battlefield game or something new to the Battlefield 4 game or Hardline or something like that. That's all the EA news from the past week or so kind of round up in a nutshell. Now, over the past weekend, we've had quite a few betas. We have had Doom, we have had Battleborn, we've had Overwatch, and today we have Gears of War 4 starting. All of these I have played apart from Overwatch, of which we'll be having another beta at the beginning of May. That was unveiled earlier on today. The Overwatch beta will be on the 5th to 9th of May, completely free, and you can just sign up and play. So that will definitely be good. Doom's been met with some fairly negative comments over on the PC platform. It seems to be quite more of a console port that has gone over to PC, so you don't have the customization options that people have been wanting. I would definitely wait for the full reviews to come out before you pre-order it or buy it for PC. Xbox One, PS4, the reviews seem to be fairly positive from the beta. The feedback seems to be fairly positive. The only problem with the Doom beta is it was very scarce in content. Now, obviously, this is a beta. It's going to just be testing the servers, making sure it's stable. It just worried me that little bit that there wasn't a huge amount of variety of content. It was interesting. I'm looking forward to the campaign version of the game, not the multiplayer. We'll just have to see what happens. That game is out next month. Now, another game that we have out next month is Battleborn. Battleborn is pretty much the opposite, in my opinion, of Doom. Now, Doom ran fairly well on consoles and was fairly good fun on consoles. I enjoyed it on console more than PC. You kind of like swap them over, and that's my opinion of Battleborn. The feedback for Battleborn has been different. It's by the developers that made games like Borderlands, so 2K, and they have made a kind of like multiplayer first-person shooter. We have loads of different custom characters, you unlock them, etc. It might be microtransaction based. That's a slight worry of mine, because the characters you unlock, they'll probably do it so that you can unlock characters through normal progression or microtransaction. I'm not 100% sure. And it was also lacking content. But as I said, it's a beta. They're just testing the servers. So there seems to be a variety of characters. I think you do need to play the storyline in Battleborn. You don't in Doom, to understand what you're kind of like doing. I didn't really understand what I was doing in Battleborn. But I preferred Battleborn on PC. That's just my personal preference. Now, I've not played Overwatch, as I previously said, but Overwatch seems to be another game which is out next month, which people seem to be fairly interested in. Now, the overall concept of Overwatch is it's another first-person shooter, I believe, might be third-person, made by the developers that have made World of Warcraft, Heroes of the Storm, and Hearthstone, etc. So it's their first actual look into a competitive shooter. It's their first kind of game that they have put like a lot of teamwork into, and a multiplayer first-person kind of shooter. The characters seem to be fairly interesting. As I said, I have not got a huge amount of experience of Overwatch, mainly because I've not managed to play it yet. I'm looking forward to the beta. That will definitely be good fun when the beta is up. So we'll just have to see what happens there. It seems to be a lot better than Battleborn, in my opinion. I'm looking forward to Overwatch a lot more than Battleborn, in my personal preference. Another thing that was also unveiled last week is also from EA, by the way. Star Wars Battlefront will be having another DLC in June. They released a teaser trailer of what will be coming up, and there'll be new game events, new HUT contracts, new content with new maps, etc. Celebrations for May the 4th. And yeah, that's coming fairly soon, with more offline content as well, which will definitely be well welcomed by the fans. Now, Microsoft has also had a interesting week we've moved on from EA, we've moved on from the beta section, we're now going over to the Microsoft kind of like section of this podcast. Now, Gears of War 4 is coming out later on this year. They unveiled the release date, I believe it's October, and they've got a beta running this week, starting today, so I'll get some gameplay in for that on the channel soon. But just before the beta unveiled, Microsoft confirmed that there will be microtransactions. However, the microtransactions that will be as a part of Gears of War 4 will be purely cosmetic items. There will be the kind of like card system that you have in like Magic the Gathering, and then you'll have like different rarity of cards, and then you'll have cosmetic changes. By the looks of it, there won't be anything that actually affects the gameplay. Like, you won't be able to buy a more powerful weapon kind of thing, so it's not pay to win, which is definitely good. Also, in the Microsoft world, we do have more news that Fable Legends has officially now shut down. If you have bought any content through the Fable Legends game beta that had been running since about a year ago now, the free-to-play game, the studio behind it, Lionhead, got shut down. Now Fable Legends servers have been shut down. I feel really sorry for the developers over there, but the servers have now been shut down. If you have bought anything, you can get a refund for anything that you've bought during the beta phase. I don't know why people would buy stuff during the beta phase, but people apparently had the ability to. So if you do want to get a refund, do go and check a link which I will leave down below in the description. Now over to Ubisoft. The Division had a huge patch last week on Tuesday, where it added some more content, incursions. It also added some daily mission supply drops, a few changes to the way that the Dark Zone works and stuff like that. It added a lot of free content. This was free for everybody as part of their year-long plan, and there were a few issues that came out of this. I've had quite a few issues where the challenging missions don't actually update daily. We've had that a few times, even before the patch a few times. They had to take that out. We've had a few exploits for the new mission, the incursion. There have been a few exploits. They actually took the incursion down, I believe, on Friday night, and it came back up tomorrow, I believe. And we've also had an issue, at least on Xbox One, where missing characters. So you logged into the game and your character was like gone. If you had made any progress in the game, it would have been reset on the next maintenance that took place after April the 13th. So I believe there's already been maintenance since then. There might not have been. If not, that will be taking place tomorrow. So don't worry, that will be fixed. The only problem is if you made any progress in between the maintenance, the progress that you made will be lost. So that includes if you made progress on the incursion, but you've lost your character, so it doesn't make a huge difference. Also, it's sometimes displayed that your rank was 0 for the Dark Zone when it was actually higher, but then when you actually went into the Dark Zone, it was perfectly fine. 2K have announced NBA 2K17 Legend Edition as well. So the Legend Edition is like the digital deluxe if you were going for EA. So it comes with all of the extra content. So the like the team bundles, the virtual currency, and extra in-game digital content, and physical items as well. You get a poster, a few playing cards, and a controller skin. On the day that they unveiled NBA 2K17 was the last day that Kobe Bryant played for the Lakers, and they made a huge publicity stunt with this, where they were like unveiling that the front cover of the special edition version of the game will be Kobe Bryant and will come with some amazing like extra content that comes with the game. So that will definitely be interesting. I'm going to try out NBA 2K17. I tried out about a bit of 2K16 and I actually enjoyed it. I don't support basketball personally, but I know that Kobe Bryant has been playing for 20 years and is just retired, so it's quite a big thing for people that support basketball. The final cover of the NBA 2K17 Standard Edition will be unveiled in June at the NBA 216 Road to the Finals $250,000 championship in June. So do look out for that. The game will be available on digital and physical formats on the PS4, Xbox One as well. There won't be a version for PC, and that will definitely be interesting. I have had a bit of fun on that game. Now we've had a bit more information unveiled about the EA Play event and Microsoft E3 event, and also a bit of information behind Quantum Break and the Drive Club studio. So I'm just going to go into that information now. Excuse my mouse clicking in the background as I'm looking at this information live for you, so it's all definitely correct. EA Play 2016 has had some more information unveiled about it. Along with Titanfall 2, there will be 3 other sport titles and more at EA Play in London and Los Angeles on June the 12th. June the 12th is when EA will be holding their equivalent of their E3 press conference. They won't actually be going to E3 this year. They're going to be holding their own events. One in London just for one day on June the 12th. And then over in LA, they will also be running one June the 12th to 14th. So here is what will be happening. There will be a press conference at 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which in the UK is 9 to 10 p.m. UK time, so BST, on the Sunday the 12th of June. In the US, you can go straight to play the games from 2 till 4 p.m. if you're media, and then 4 until 10 p.m. for just general public. They want to make it available for everybody that wants to go and play the games, kind of thing. They're trying to really interact with the gaming community, which is something I really do respect. And then June the 13th, that will expand to everybody again, and then June the 14th will be open to industry and E3 attendees over in LA. Now, the event over in London is only one day. It's 9 till 10 p.m. for the press conference, 10 p.m. until midnight on the 13th of June for the player session. So starts on the 10th, finishes on the 13th, basically. So that will definitely be good fun. I'll be heading over to the London event, possibly with a few of my colleagues. There'll be hands-on game demos, competitions, live streaming of the games as well. So if you are missing the press conference, you can tune in over on the EA website as well. There'll also be special guest appearances, exclusive memorabilia, and much, much more. There'll be loads more information coming in the next 2 months before the event. Microsoft will be running their E3 press conference on the following day at 9:30 a.m. PDT, which is 4:30 on the June the 13th as well, over in the UK. So Microsoft will be running their press conference. They will be attending E3 as normal. So that will only be open to press. We won't be able to access it anywhere else other than LA if you have the press conference ability to go to the E3 show. Now, another interesting development last week was Codemasters. Codemasters is a publisher that is well known in the UK and the racing game industry. They have been creating the Dirt franchises, they've been creating the F1 franchises for quite a while now, and they have just bought, the studio behind Drive Club, named Evolution, who was formerly known formerly owned by Sony, has been taken up by Codemasters. Now, Evolution shut down the same, I think it was a week after the studio Lionhead shut down over at Microsoft. So both Sony and Microsoft had a tough time in the weeks leading up to beginning of March, I believe it was, where the studios were shut down at different parts of the company because they're reorganizing their European structure, and now the Evolution team has moved over to Codemasters, which means they will be making multi-platform games. Sadly, they didn't take any of the products that they've previously done, so Drive Club will be staying with Sony. If they do anything with that, we don't know. Apparently, there might be something happening. It will still be supported, but by another developer. So we'll just have to see what happens with that. Hopefully, there'll be some interesting games. They'll be making even more games. And Codemasters are the place to go for any racing games or motorsport games, full stop, to be honest. So, Evolution joining Codemasters is definitely an interesting development, and they'll be working very closely together to make some really cool games, hopefully. Quantum Break is the biggest selling new Microsoft Studio IP since the Xbox One launched. This beats Sunset Overdrive, Project Spark, and Ori and the Blind Forest, to name a few, and Quantum Break has been doing fairly well. It's had a few negative reviews over on the PC platform, which is a shame. However, the Xbox platform has had quite a good time with it. If you did pre-order it over on the Xbox One system before launch, you will be getting a free code for the PC version coming to your inbox. This will either be 14 days after launch if you pre-ordered it way before launch. If you pre-ordered it, well, okay, it either works out 14 days after launch if you pre-ordered it months ago, or 14 days after after your purchase for you to get the code to come through. So if you purchased it like the day before Quantum Break launched, you will be getting your code approximately 14 days later. That is the same with all of the pre-order bonuses that you get with Xbox One versions, the Alan Wake stuff as well. So if you purchase it now, you'll get the Alan Wake stuff only. The port over to PC seems to be fairly badly met because they don't have the customization options that PC gamers are used to, that a lot of the gaming community respect, like the field of view options aren't as good. You don't even have an option to close out of the game through the main menu, etc. So there are a few limitations that PC gamers don't particularly like, and I understand that those features that PC gamers expect are something that you should really be getting on a platform which is more powerful and can do that. So it's a shame that that's been cut. However, they will be implementing that into future releases of patches going to the PC version. There will also possibly be multiplayer games coming from the studio Remedy Entertainment after the critical success of Quantum Break, especially on the Xbox One system. So we'll see what happens with that. That was according to one of the developers at the studio. We did a brief interview on April the 9th with Bulkhead Interactive, the developer behind Battalion 1944, The Turing Test, and Pneuma Breath of Life. Now, I will leave the link down below in the description. We asked them a few interesting questions, asking where their background was, how they got into the gaming industry, future possibilities for where their games could go. So, for example, if their next first-person puzzle game, The Turing Test, which is coming out this year, by the way, could possibly come to VR, if the British will be coming to Battalion 1944. So quite a variety of questions. It was definitely an interesting experience at EGX Rezzed, and I'll leave the link down below in the description for that information. If you do want to get any cheap games, do go and check out gamesplanet.com. I'll also leave that link down below in the description. They have some really good prices for games at the moment. For example, the deluxe edition of Dark Souls 3 on PC is £48. The original version is £35, so that's just the standard. Same price for Doom as well, so that's 13% off. And then Tom Clancy The Division is at $29.99. Games Planet are our new partner that we have recently partnered with, and they sell PC and Mac codes for a variety of games. Do go and check them out. The link will be down below in the description. I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. It's been a while since I've done something like this. I'm going to try and improve the quality, make sure that I have a kind of script to go by. This has kind of like been on the flow. So I will make sure that I will do that very soon, and also have a pop filter so the sharp sounds like S don't stick out as much necessarily. So I hope you've enjoyed this podcast episode. Don't forget to like, follow, and of course, as always, subscribe. We will have another podcast coming very, very soon. Thank you for watching or listening.